Hey guys, it's Cracking Kumon back with another video, and today we'll be doing H141a and H141b, since this was in one of the comments. First, it's H140a, question 1. Point C, you have to find out which coordinate the point is. So the x coordinate is 3. So first of all, you look here, C is this one. This is the x-axis. And this is the y-axis. Now, since you have that, the x-coordinate is 3 as shown here. So you go to 3 because that's on the x-axis. And then the y-coordinate, C, it would be 1 because it's from here. On the y-coordinate, it's 1 because of it's in line with the 1 and 3. So you write here 1. Normally, you would write the x-coordinate first when you're doing something, and then the y-coordinate. Like, it could also be written as 3, 1. And since the x comes first, that's the x, and that's the y. Point D, the x-coordinate is negative. Okay, so we have that one. The x-coordinate is negative 1. So we find the x-coordinate negative 1. And since it's D, it's here. It's in line with 2. So we write 2. Question 3. You have to find point E. Point E is here. And the x-coordinate on point E is 0 because it's on the same line as 0. And the y-coordinate, the y-coordinate is 0 because y, 0. And then the x-coordinate would be, this is the x, this is it would be negative 2. Point F, you have to find it, F. The y-coordinate, this is y, would be negative 2 because that's what it's in line with. So F, the x-coordinate, the y-coordinate, that's what we just figured out, is negative 2. And then the x-coordinate would be negative 1 because that's what F is in line with on the x-axis. So it would be negative 1. Point G, the x-coordinate is, we find G, on the x-axis, it lines up with 2, so the x-coordinate is 2, and the y-coordinate is negative 3, because that's what it lines up with, that's on the y-axis. Point H, the x-coordinate is 0, H, the x-coordinate is 0, yep, that's correct, because it's on the x-axis, which is this one, it lines up on 0. And, yep, that's there. And on the y-axis, this one, it lines up with 1. Which could also be written bracket 0, 1 brackets. The 0 being the x and the y being the 1. H141b, question 1, point B. So, first of all, you get point B. Then you find out where it lies on the x-axis, because the x always comes first, which is 1, because it's there. And then the y-axis, it would be 2, because it's in line with 2. Point C is here. Point C, it would be, with the x-axis, it would be negative 2, because it lines up. And this one is an unusual one, because it's halfway in between the 1 and the 2. And what's half of 1 and 2? 1.5. But 1.5 can also be written in fractions, because whenever you're doing this, most of the time Kumon wants you to do it in fractions. 1.5. And whenever you do graphs, you never do mixed numbers. you always do improper. So 1.5 would be 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, and the bottom stays the same. So it would be 3 over 2, which they've done here. Point D would be negative 3 over 2, yeah, because there's negative 1 here and negative 2, and it's in the middle. So it would be negative 1.5, which is the same as negative 1.5, which is the same as negative 3 over 2, because you have to change it all the way from a decimal to an improper fraction. They've already got negative 3 over 2 for you. And then for the next one, it would be, that's the x, because it's on the x-axis, and then you find the y-axis, and since it's in line with negative 2, it's negative 2. Point E is here. On the x-axis, that's 2, because 2 is here and it lines up. And on the y-axis, this is the y-axis, it's in between negative 1 and negative 2. So it's negative 1.5, which is equal to negative 1.5, which is equal to negative 3 over 2. So you write here negative 3 over 2. Point F is here. This is the easiest one. Y, 0, and X, 0, because it's in the bang middle. 0, 0. X and Y. Point A is here. This is the x-axis. So this is 4, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the y-axis, it would be 1, because this is 0, and then 1, and 2, and 3, then 4, and 5. So 4, 1. Point B would be negative 3, because that's where it lines up with. And you always do the x-axis first. So it's negative 3, and 1, 2.5. 2.5. This is the y-axis, is equal to 5 over 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. So point B would be 5 over 2. Point C, negative 2 on the x-axis, negative 2. And then remember, this first one's x, and then the second one's y. And then it would be on the y-axis, 0, because it lines up with 0, which is here, which is along here. Point D would be 2.5 on the x-axis, 2.5, 5 over 2. So point D, 5 over 2. And it would be on the y-axis, negative, because it's below the 0, 4. Last one, point E, it would be 4 on the y-axis. We're doing 4 on the y, just remember that's y and that's x. And then x will just be 0, because it lines up with 0. Thank you for watching. If you want me to do any other videos, just comment. I'm still doing H142 and H143 in another video soon. Thank you. Bye.